Hey, welcome to your channel, Virgo. There is a new sound in your silence. Not a voice, but a vibration, a steady, low hum that has begun to permeate the quiet spaces of your life. It is the resonant frequency of being held in a concentrated thought. This is not the casual remembrance of an old friend or the fleeting consideration of an acquaintance. This is the focused, potent energy of being the subject of a profound and active fixation. You are being studied. You are being contemplated with an intensity that has mass, that has gravity, and it is pulling the fabric of your own awareness toward it, creating a subtle but undeniable tension in the field around you. This energy is not patient. It is not contemplative in a slow, meandering way. It carries the signature of immediacy. It feels youthful, not necessarily in years, but in its essence, it is raw, unfiltered, and lacks the sophisticated dampeners of self-consciousness or strategic hesitation. It is a desire that has reached its own boiling point and now radiates heat. It broadcasts on a single clear channel, a powerful magnetic pull towards you. To the source of this energy, you are not a mere possibility among many. You have become an inevitability, a destination toward which their internal compass now points without wavering. You represent something that feels fundamental, an answer to a deep, perhaps previously unarticulated question within them. Your presence, real or remembered, has acted as a catalyst, igniting a clarity of want that is all-consuming in its focus. Let us speak plainly of the body's ancient wisdom. The jarring language of a physical shock, of the heart seizing, this is the primal metaphor your own intuition may be using to get your attention. When an external force of pure, undiluted desire makes contact with your energetic field, your physical form is the first to register the impact. This is not a medical prediction, it is a description of somatic intelligence. You may feel a sudden, unexpected tightness in your chest, not the pain of ailment, but the awe of impact. A catch in your breath, not from sickness, but from the sheer expansion of your perceived space in someone else's world. A jolt of awareness, a rush of heat, a restlessness in your limbs when your mind tries to settle. These sensations are messengers. They are your body's eloquent way of saying, take note, the atmosphere has changed. You are standing in a field of significant force. This is the heart attack not of pathology, but of profound reorientation. It is the shock to the system that occurs when the quiet story you've been telling yourself about your own life is suddenly dramatically rewritten by the potent chapter someone else is writing with you at its center. This establishes a dense and complex field of probability in your present reality. The most immediate probability is not of a specific romantic event, but of a confrontation. You are being confronted quite forcefully by the mirror of ardent, almost overwhelming desire. But look closely, this mirror is not showing you them. It is showing you. It is reflecting back the sheer power of your own essence to captivate, to inspire deep longing, to become an object of singular, focused attention. This confrontation can be profoundly unsettling because it asks you questions you may have comfortably avoided. Can I handle being wanted this much? Does my self-concept have room for this level of impact? Do I believe in my core that I am someone who can inspire feelings of this intensity in another soul? The friction you feel, that push-pull between fascination and anxiety, between flattery and fear, is the audible sound of your current identity being reshaped to accommodate this new, undeniable data point about your place in the hidden emotional landscapes of others. Has this internal friction become a recognizable sensation for you? That feeling of being simultaneously drawn in and needing to step back is the very epicenter of this experience. I read every comment, and understanding how this resonates for you is what builds this community. Herein lies the first and most crucial layer of discernment. This intense, youthful wanting is often as much about vivid projection as it is about clear perception. You may represent, to them, an ideal freedom, wisdom, completion, rebellion, or peace. Their wanting you now more than ever is frequently a function of their own internal timing, a culmination of their personal readiness to feel something profound, a desperate need for a figure to embody their hope or catalyze their change. You are the screen upon which a compelling and urgent film is being projected. This does not make the energy directed at you any less real or less potent. It simply provides the essential framing. It is a form of worship, and worship, while transcendent, can be isolating. It places you on a pedestal, and a pedestal is, by design, a lonely place, far removed from the grounded, complex, beautifully flawed reality of your authentic humanity. Your spiritual work begins with asking, can I feel the difference between the idealized version of me being adored and the true, complete human being I know myself to be? Your ability to hold this distinction is your primary lifeline, your tether back to your own truth. Therefore, the spiritual undertaking this present moment demands is one of unwavering, sovereign grounding. It is the practice of becoming the unmovable mountain while a storm of intense admiration and desire rages against your slopes. The winds may howl with their longing, the rains may fall with their need, but your bedrock, the core of who you are, remains unchanged, unswayed. Your task is to cultivate an inner stability so profound that external forces, no matter how magnetic or forceful, cannot erode your fundamental sense of self. This requires a deliberate and frequent retreat inward. It means pausing to ask not, what does this mean for us, or what should I do about them, but rather, who am I right now in the face of this powerful energy? It involves reinforcing the boundaries of your identity, not with brittle walls of fear or reactive rejection, but with the quiet, firm, and compassionate declaration of your own autonomous existence. You are not a principal character in their unfolding narrative. You are the sole author of your own. Have you felt this non-negotiable need to reclaim your authorship lately, to steady your own hand on the pen? This reclamation is the very heart of the journey. This dynamic also thrusts upon you a sudden and potentially stark awareness of your own tangible power. You are someone who can generate this level of focus. Let that truth settle, not with ego, but with sober observation. You possess a magnetism capable of pulling another person's entire emotional world into a new alignment. This is a form of influence, and all true influence carries with it a requirement for ethical and conscious stewardship. The warning inherently woven into this situation is the invitation to step into that personal power with grace and profound responsibility. It is a caution against the subtle intoxication of being idolized and a simultaneous call to remain fiercely, humbly, undeniably human. It is an urging to use this charged moment not for the gratification of the ego, but for the evolution of the spirit, to see in the bright light of their desire a reflection of your own potent energy, and then to deliberately turn that light back onto your own path for your own growth and clarity. So, how does one navigate this electrically charged landscape? The answer is found in deliberate slowness. In intentional breath, you must become a meticulous scientist of your own inner climate. When you feel that external pressure, build that sense of being pulled at, thought of, wanted, you consciously choose not to look outward for answers or validation. You turn your gaze inward and take a careful reading. You note the sensations, the intrigue, the resistance, the curiosity, the fear. You name them without judgment. You allow the external energy to be present like weather passing through, without allowing it to dictate your next move, your next thought, your next feeling. You cultivate the observant center. All choices, all responses must flow from that still central point, not from the reactive, storm-tossed periphery. Your timeline is sacred. Their urgency is their own emotional weather system. You are under no spiritual obligation to match its rhythm or be swept up in its storm. Your deepest power resides in your pause, in your deliberation, in your unwavering commitment to your own integrity above all else. This entire experience, for all its potentially overwhelming intensity, is ultimately a gift of searing clarity. It functions as a catalyst that burns away ambiguity. It forces your hand not toward them, but toward yourself. It makes you choose you, perhaps more deliberately and consciously than you have ever had to before. It asks you to define what you want, what you value, and what you need, not as a reaction to their desire, but in pure alignment with the deepest, quietest, most authentic voice of your own spirit. The potent energy directed at you is merely the spark. The transformation, the enduring fire is your own to tend. You are being shown the undeniable strength and reach of your own flame by the long shadows it casts in the minds and hearts of others. Remember this always. You are the sole source of the light. The shadows are merely evidence of its brilliance, its reach, its power. Your sacred duty is to tend to your flame, guard its integrity, nourish its fuel, let it burn brightly and consistently for you, first and always. Everything else, the admiration, the desire, the storm of another's focus, is ultimately just scenery, a temporary condition of the atmosphere through which your own steady light continues to shine. I don't sell futures, I build architects. No predictions, just the raw truth for the tough ones. Stay magic, stay in the now.